What's going on, guys? So this week we're going to be looking at our Thursday slate. So this is going to be Thursday through Sunday. So it's a full slate of games. Reason for that is we're actually going to be looking at the New England game on Thursday, and we're going to be building around that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and build around the full slate of games this week. So I will also be posting another video later in the week from my Sunday only lineup. It's going to be very similar to my Thursday or my full slate Thursday lineup, but a few changes. So stay tuned for that video to come later. I'll probably post that around Thursday. So anyways, let's jump right into it. First one we're going to go with is quarterback, and we're actually going to go with Kirk Cousins. Let's just scroll down here. So Cousins has been playing lights out football lately. If you look at his numbers over the last few weeks, easily reaching 3x value almost every single week, if not closer to 5x. Last week he played Arizona. That was a tough defense. Still did pretty well. Almost pulled out a win there, but couldn't quite secure it at the end. But nonetheless, he's been playing phenomenal football. His touchdown to interception ratio, 21 touchdowns to 8 interceptions on the season already. Definitely at $6,300 has a huge upside. Any given week he can go off, throw 3 or 4 touchdowns, and get you a huge week. So we're definitely locking in Kirk Cousins this week. Excuse me. Next up, we're going with a running back. Now, I think the chalkiest play of the week is obviously going to be on that Sunday slate, and it's going to be, LeVeon Bell and David Johnson. So David Johnson, I think, is going to be higher owned just considering they're going against Miami. Miami right now isn't playing great. Their defense got torched last week. I think the way they looked last week, which I will say I was on them, did not expect that at all, but it happens. I think Arizona is going to absolutely decimate this team this week, secure that, clinch that playoff spot, and just keep rolling. So David Johnson, I think this week for Arizona is going to be the chalkiest play, which is why I'm going to drop down, save a little bit of money, and we're going to go with Le'Veon Bell as our stud of the week for running back. Le'Veon Bell across the board has been used in every aspect of that offense. He's actually one of the leading receivers on that team, believe it or not, but he's also getting just an absurd amount of attempts on the ground as well. The reason that I'm also fading David Johnson is he doesn't get a whole lot of carries on a weekly basis. They really rely on his pass-catching ability. But if you're wanting a dual-threat running back that can consistently put up the 25, 30 points a week, then you need a guy who's going to get a lot of carries but also get a lot of receptions, and that's going to be Le'Veon Bell week to week. Now, I know at $9,000 price tag, that's pretty steep. Generally, you need him to hit 27 points to even make value and have a shot at placing high enough in a tournament to make some decent money. But considering that he really hasn't had a week below 26 points, except for week 9, he had 13 points. But I mean, for the most part, especially later in the season, he's been putting up some phenomenal numbers. They're going against Buffalo, who doesn't have really any defensive weapons that are going to shut down Le'Veon Bell. And the fact that he can line up as a receiver, he's a must-play this week. So we're going to lock him up, Le'Veon Bell. Next, we're going to go with Melvin Gordon. So they're playing defense of Carolina. Carolina is garbage. Therefore, San Diego's probably going to decimate that Carolina defense. I think they're going to do it in the air. They're going to do it on the ground. But I really think Melvin Gordon's in for a big week this week. I don't see Carolina shutting them down. Carolina's run game is so bad, they really rely on the pass game. And I think San Diego is going to be able to really control that clock and control the gameplay rhythm by running it a lot with Melvin Gordon. He's got some speed to him. The guy can break out for a big play here and there. He's got 12 touchdowns on the season, and he's averaging over 21 points, almost 22 points per week. That's just shy of 3x his value of $7,400 this week. He did go up a couple dollars here since last week, but he did have 23 points last week, so that's understandable. But I think Melvin Gordon is definitely a must-play for me this week. All right, so first up at wide receiver, we're going to go with Taylor Gabriel. So for some reason, he's still not being owned as much as he should be. Obviously, Julio went off. I understand. This was kind of an off week in Week 13 for Gabriel. But if you look, he still had 5 receptions on 6 targets. The consistency is there. He is getting 5 to 6 targets a game. He is a deep threat as well. So if he gets out and open, which I think against the Rams, they don't have much that can shut down the deep threat guys. So I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity. And the Rams are going to keen in on Julio Jones, try to keep him contained, which obviously no one's really been able to do at all this season. So I'm sure Julio will go off. But at a 4,300 price point, Gabriel has that upside to get you the 20-plus points, and that $4,300, he's definitely a good value play. And with 5 touchdowns on the season, he's getting in the end zone too. So any given week, he's good for a possible touchdown. Next up, we're going to go with Tyreek Hill. So Kansas City has clearly marked him as their top target. They're going against Oakland's defense, which hasn't been absolutely horrible so far this season. They've actually been doing pretty decent. But the volume that Hill is getting is just phenomenal. I mean, 6 targets, 10 targets, 5 targets, 13 targets. And he's catching a lot of what's thrown his way. So far, he's got 6 touchdowns on the season. Currently, he's averaging 12.4 points per game. But if you look early on in the season, he wasn't getting as many targets and as many receptions. But he's definitely stepped out and proven that he deserves the workload. And they're going to keep feeding him the ball. And I think at $5,000, he is underpriced this week. I think Tyreek Hill is easily good for 15 to 20 points against that Oakland secondary. And this could potentially be a shootout. Most games with Oakland, they come down to touchdowns, and I think Hill has a very good shot at getting one this week. So we're going to lock in Tyreek Hill. Next, we're going with that New England game. We're going to go with Malcolm Mitchell. So with Gronkowski out, all the rumors that Mitchell was going to get a lot of work is obviously proving true. So over the 2 weeks that he has basically stepped up and had to carry the extra, actually 3 weeks that he's had to step up and carry some extra workload, he's gotten, 17, about 22 targets. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, over 3 weeks, that's just shy of 8 per week. So that's a lot of targets. Now, he only has 3 touchdowns on the season so far. 2 came in Week 12 against the Jets. Baltimore's defense is pretty decent, definitely better than the Jets are this year. But the usage is there, $4,200 over the last 3 weeks. He's getting around 16 to 21 points. I mean, where do you not see the connection there? I mean, clearly he's working well with Tom Brady. A lot of defenses are keening in on Edelman. They're going to be looking at the run game, keep that contained. I think Malcolm Mitchell, he's a big guy, works well in that wide receiver, tight end hybrid position. And I think he's going to continue to get that usage that you need to get, to reach that value. So I think this week he's good for around 15 points or more, which I'll be solid and I'll be happy with. So Malcolm Mitchell is definitely a lock for me in that wide receiver position. This week I'm doing it a little different. I'm definitely going more value at wide receiver. I'm noticing that a lot of people are building lineups week to week around chalky wide receivers and kind of fading the good running backs for the most part. But with the way the offenses are playing right now, they're definitely giving some of these younger guys more opportunity, especially in positions where they've pretty much locked in a playoff spot. You really got to look at some of these younger guys that they're trying to get more play time, and those are the guys you got to keen in on. Now, week to week, I've had some bad weeks, I'm not going to lie, but just like I say in other videos, always build multiple lineups, try different theories and different setups within your lineup to see what works. Every week is different. Some weeks stacking stud running backs are the best way to go. Other weeks fading the studs and going chalky in the wide receiver spot is better. It's just about the numbers game and trying different things till you find something that hits. But we'll jump right into the tight end position, and we're going to go with Delanie Walker this week against Denver. So obviously not the best matchup for Tennessee. Mariota is playing phenomenally. I mean, he's throwing a lot of touchdowns. He's getting a lot of completions. Denver has been beaten. They're not unbeatable. They're not the same team they were in the Super Bowl. They're definitely playing a little different, but the defense is something to respect. They obviously have the potential of picking off any quarterback. But in the tight end position, there's not many tight ends right now currently active in the league that are as good as Delanie Walker. Consistency is there. Touchdowns are there. Receptions are there. And targets are there. Everything you look for. So the way it looks this week, I think a lot of people will fade this game just considering Denver's defense, which I hope will keep the ownership percentage low on Delanie. And I think he's going to have a good game. They're going to rely on the tight ends a lot more against that secondary of Denver. So a lot of short passes, a lot of shooting, 10 yards, slants, things like that are going to keep the ball out of the secondary's hands and just continue to control the clock and move that ball downfield. So Delaney Walker is a lock for me at tight end this week. And then we're going to run a dual tight end formation this week with Travis Kelce. So Kelce, $5,700. I think he's underpriced. Clearly the number one receiver right now over in Kansas City when you're talking receiving options. Now I did also throw in Tyreek Hill, so obviously I'm stacking two around Kansas City, but it's Oakland's defense. I think Kansas City is going to, they're going to control that clock. They're going to pass it a lot. I think Travis Kelce, the way he's utilizing that offense, he's good for a touchdown any given week. Now, he only has 3 on the year, but considering his usage, 8, 15, 9, and 6 targets over the last 4 weeks, triple-digit yardage over 3 of the 4 weeks, Kelce, I think, is way underpriced. He definitely should be on the higher echelon of tight ends, up there with the Gronks, considering how much usage Kansas City gives him. But nonetheless, we're going to pick on that salary at $5,700. We're going to go ahead and lock in Kelce as our secondary. Our secondary tight end in the flex. And then for defense this week, I really like the Patriots defense. Oh, hold on. Might help if I get out of tight end. All right. So Patriots against Baltimore. So Baltimore had a good week last week. I don't think they're going to repeat that. They haven't been the most consistent team out there offensively. They do have a few weapons, which, I will say Patriots will probably give up a touchdown or two. I'm not saying that won't happen, but at $3,400, I think they're pretty reasonable cost for defense. I think the top defense is Minnesota, which is also a good option. You can always pay up for that as well. But I just really like New England this week. I don't think they're going to be owned as much, considering the way Baltimore torched Miami last week. But I think New England's a better defense. They have better secondaries, better pass rush, better run defense. And the way Baltimore's looking right now in the run game, they're going to really have to rely heavily on pass. And I think New England's going to keen in on that and shut that pass game down pretty early. And Patriots look unstoppable. When you're looking at just win-loss, they're on a roll right now. So I think New England's going to keep from that loss category expanding anymore, and they're going to shut down Baltimore this week. So I think they're good to lock in. So let's just run through this real quick. We got Kirk Cousins, LeVeon Bell, Melvin Gordon, Taylor Gabriel, Tyreek Hill, Malcolm Mitchell, Delaney Walker, Travis Kelce, and Patriots. So that's going to be my lineup. Like I said, this is the the Thursday slate. So if you feel free to lock it in. If you like my videos, please comment, subscribe, smash that like button. Last week was rough. Like I said, I apologize if it cost anyone any money. But I think this week we're going to bounce back. I mean, it's a numbers game. The season's coming to an end. And I'm going to keep providing videos and hopefully help some people make some money. Keep in mind, you can fade guys, change them up. I'm just hoping that my videos give you some direction, kind of give you an idea of where my mind's at, and hopefully will help some people structure their lineups the way they like. So good luck, everybody. I hope everyone makes money, and I will be posting another video Thursday for the Sunday main slate. And if you want to see any additional videos from me, feel free to comment in the comment section. And if I get enough people requesting it, I'll throw some additional videos out each week as well. Appreciate it, and good luck this week. Let's make some money.